2025 is quite literally on the horizon. What we're not doing is the whole, and I say this because I used to do it, the whole new year, new me bullshit. No, it's going to be the new year and the same me. However, what I am doing is serving a lot more cunt this year. So, do with that what you will. I'm going to chop this video. This video is a video from me to my past self. I'm just putting this out there in the event that it would help somebody else that could possibly benefit from the same lessons that I've learned in the years past. First thing I got to tell you, my man, if nobody else told you before, you're hearing it from yourself. You're kind, you're important, you're intelligent, and you're a beautiful ass motherfucker. You don't need nobody else in the outside world to tell you that. You need to remind yourself of that and let yourself hear that on a daily basis so that you know who the fuck you are. Because there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that's going to try and convince you otherwise because of their own inability to self-validate themselves. You don't need that external shit. Know who you are and know that you're the shit just by knowing that. And I don't mean you got to walk around being a vain-ass motherfucker thinking that you're the center of the universe or you're God's gift to whoever the fuck. No, that just means you're about yourself and you give a fuck about yourself in a certain way, and you ain't going to let nobody take that from you. Your family don't have to tell you that. Motherfuckers online don't have to tell you that. People who you thought were cool and for you don't have to tell you that. You have to know that for yourself, and nobody else can prove that except for you. Stop trying to prove yourself to the world. The motherfuckers that are around you are going to be around you, and they're going to be for you consistently, just like that. You don't have to try too hard for other motherfuckers. Don't go out of your way to get attention from people that only are seeking attention themselves and want something to entertain them for the time being for whatever source that they can use up. Be about you and your people. Be about the people that rock with you consistently. You ain't got to try to bring nobody else in. You ain't got to try to do all that huff and buff. And then also on top of that, realize that your brothers are your biggest fans. Support them. Treat them like that as such. All this external validation, you'll find out in the future that this shit don't matter. At the end of the day, it don't fucking matter. Because a motherfucker with all the money and all the bitches and all the external horseshit of the world that we're made to convince that actually means something and give a fuck, be some of the most miserable ass people and be trying to put that out on other people. Yet you can sit there and have nothing at all to your name and still be one of the biggest joys in somebody else's life, especially if they're around you and showing that they for you. The internet's a cool ass place, man. And it gets even cooler in the future. The shit you think you can do now, you think that's amazing, it opened a lot more opportunities open up in the future. And it's a great way for people to connect, for you to meet other motherfuckers that are like you, that might come into your life and vibe with what you vibing in. Also understand it is a disease. The internet is full of a bunch of motherfuckers that either need that attention so goddamn much that they'll do whatever they can to get it, whether that be positive or negative. I'm going to need you to pay attention to that and treat that as important, because you're going to need the previous shit that I said before to coincide with you run around and doing your own thing on the internet. You have to know who the fuck you are. Don't let other people's opinions about the world and everything change who the fuck you are at your core. Don't let what nobody else does or says to you change who you are at your core, and you know who you are at your core. Other people are going to peep that too, especially the ones who are really about their shit. Once again, you don't need to prove yourself. From this point moving forward, understand that anything that anybody says, regardless of who they are, where they come from, and what their status is in life, is an opinion. And it's not fact until it's shown itself and proven itself to you, and you know it to be true through your experience, your learned experience, and the knowledge that you have. Has it shown itself to you? Does it make sense to you, regardless of what the factors are or anything else that may come into that? Just because it's real for the rest of the world does not mean it's real for you, and vice versa. There's a reason for that. You have to understand that. Some things, there has some objectivity to them, meaning in a sense that there are some universal truths, things that everybody acknowledges as fact and knows within themselves as fact. But for the most part, you're going to be going through this life and trying to sift out what's true for you. You can't let what anybody else says influence that, because at the end of the day, they're going to try and prove to themselves that what they think is right, and they're going to try to convince the rest of the world as well. That doesn't necessarily make it right. That just means they have a voice. And that's another downside to the internet. Everybody thinks because they got a platform that they're right. That's not true. Don't fall into that shit. Religion is meant to be used as a guide, whether it be from any religion based in Catholicism, from Satanism, all the way to even the Taoists or the Buddhists. There's a reason when you look into this text and you decide to start studying them and finding out what the truth is for yourself, that almost all of them goes back and says, even in the Bible, that you have to look within yourself to find what you're looking outward to get. That the external doesn't even compare to what happens when you go within yourself and you do the work to find out what's true for you. Once again, going back to state that most of the shit that you're going to hear coming up is opinions from people trying to convince the world that their truth is truth. You have to find that for you. Ain't no damn way on this earth you're going to convince yourself that God is what it is and think that there's only one or a handful of ways for it to reveal itself and come to a planet full of 1 billion people to all get to the same conclusion. Sometimes you got to have workarounds to be able to achieve what you want. And that's what, whether you call it source, God, whatever name that you give it, that's what it does. There is no one way. You have to understand that, because then if you truly believe that it's only one way, you are limiting your perspective of what you say God is, and that's conflicting, and you're fucking yourself up and creating your own civil war inside of your head when you don't need to do that. Remember that shit. You're going to lose a lot of people traveling on the road that you're traveling on, whether from friends to teachers, family members, people that you said you held close here and near and dear, and it just seemed like poof, bang, they're gone. It's neither a good nor a bad thing. Some people are really just pleasant, like passerbys that just so happen to be on the same lane that you are, and y'all happen to go separate paths, and that's okay. That's a thing of life. You're supposed to learn from the people that you come into contact with. Other motherfuckers just like the convenience of who you are when you were around them based on what you were giving them. Understand that just because you're kind does not mean you need to allow another motherfucker to use you as their shit post. Remember how we was talking about you being kind and all this other stuff and blah, blah, yada, yada. Understand that you don't have to take that shit. And once somebody shows you who the fuck they are, believe that shit. You don't need to give them 3, 4, 5, 6 second chances. When somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them and move the fuck on. That doesn't mean that people can't change. That doesn't mean that people can't learn the same things that you'll learn coming up in the future. However, that doesn't mean you need to tolerate it, and it doesn't make you the fucking devil to sit there and tell somebody to piss off when they're crossing your boundary. It also isn't your responsibility to fix motherfuckers. You're not Jesus either. Learn that shit. Be who you are and find out what's true for you. If it doesn't fit and it's not comfortable, it don't feel right, don't fucking do it. Don't vibe with it. I don't give a fuck what kind of relationship y'all had. That's real talk. One of the last things I want to tell you about is start understanding the art of and the embodiment of 1 to 1,000. That means for every one of you, there's 1,000 other motherfuckers on this planet that's going to like you for you. You ain't got to change shit about yourself. Your appearance, which don't matter anyway. You don't have to change your likes, your taste, any kind of goofy things you may think that are goofy about you or your interests. None of that. They're going to like you for you. And when you get into a relationship, you make sure you cherish that shit. Once they show you that they one of the motherfuckers that are for you because of you, for no other reason. Because one thing I know for true, because I'm living it, is that somebody who's going to be about you is going to be about you. True love is motherfucking effortless and easy. There's no hardships. There's no pain. There may come times when y'all got to have y'all talks and conversations, but it's going to be easy. True love is actually scary. That's why people think it's hard, because people don't want to do scary shit. They equate it to being hard because it's something that they fear. That's why you have motherfuckers that push people out. That's why you have motherfuckers that be like, oh, well, let's not do anything, even though this is everything that I asked for. Don't pay attention to any of that. Pay attention to the one that shows up and shows you, hey, I'm fucking with you even though I know you sleeping on the fucking floor. I'm fucking with you knowing that you ain't got no money. I'm fucking with you knowing that you probably ain't somebody that I would have wanted in the past, but I felt like I needed to change now. And they give you everything that you've been asking for. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. And also understand, you don't need to have 1,000 motherfuckers to show you that they need to be about you. All you need is either one or just as many as you can count on your fucking hand. The world don't need to be about you. That's just a mindset to get you in a place of, why am I focusing on these two people here when I got so many other people that I don't even know that could be just like me and accept me for me? Understand that. Understand I love you. And just fucking hang in there, man. Just fucking hang in there. Shit looks like it's going to get rough. Shit probably already is rough. But I motherfucking believe you if nobody else has said that shit. And I mean that shit. Fuck what anybody else might say about anything else. I mean that shit. So, here's to a new fucking year. I'll see you when you get here.